EVO.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Finding Me. I'm Josh Wolf. My friends, thank you so much for being here. I'm grateful to be here and to be able to do another one of these with you, coming off an amazing weekend with Jacob Wolf on the road. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling very positive, which is tough right now, but feeling really good, feeling really positive. And this podcast has already helped me a tremendous amount. And this is just a way to hold myself accountable and try to be authentic. I want to let you know that yesterday, and I didn't correct myself, and I wish I had, but I caught it 3 times, and this is how I know it's front and center. I zhuzhed up stories, but in real life, on stage, I don't mind zhuzhing up a story for a punchline or whatever, But I've been trying not to throw little white lies into my stories that I tell people in real life, because it's me trying to be extra, you know what I mean? Trying to impress or be funnier, and it just is a little tiny dink, just one more small little hammer, which chips away at the wall of me being authentic. And I was too embarrassed to correct myself in real time. But I actually, when they come into my head now, and this will be funnier. I'm really making a conscious effort to be like, to not, And I know this doesn't sound like maybe a big deal to all of you, but it really goes to the heart of me wanting to feel like I'm enough, just me. I don't need the extra in the story. I don't need the extra to make myself more interesting. And so I did count that as a win, man. I did count it as a win because I can tell my body and my mind are cognizant of it now. And I fought off as many as I could, but I think like 3 slipped through. But man, it feels good. And and I have a funny story to tell you, and I want to tell you about the weekend. And I did write some stuff down in the new Finding Me book. But part of that authenticity, man, is last week I posted something that some people thought was political. I don't consider what I posted political, but I found that, and I didn't read the comments. I looked at 1 or 2 DMs, and they were pretty funny. But I had Jacob read them, and he was like, "Yeah, it's all people saying you're losing fans or you're losing followers, or you're gonna," basically saying, "Stay in your lane." And I have to tell you, one thing that's never left me is the more you tell me not to do something, the more I think it's what I should do, especially when it comes to this. And I do have a message, like, for people who are like, stay in your lane, or, stick to comedy or whatever. It's not the guys, this is just my job. It's my job, right? Comedy is my job, but I'm also a person. And just like you, I have opinions. And I find it dangerous for people to be telling you not to voice your opinions. It makes me think that actually is what I should be doing. So, and this podcast is helping with that too. But I think there's going to just be more of me you know, and I don't, I don't do things for the approval of strangers. I just don't. I used to, and I don't anymore. And somebody asked me, when you do you change your comedy for, if you're in different parts of the country, or early show, late show, or like I did a private party on Thursday night for this dude. He was great. And he was like, dude, do most of the music. I told you guys this. And I was really nervous about doing it. But um it was clear, those private parties are like, whew, they're either the best show or the worst. Because there's nothing worse than going to a dinner and not knowing there's gonna be comedy there. Most people aren't there for a comedy show, It's a party. They're there for the dinner and the free drinks and because their boss made them go. So, and it's usually just the boss who's the comedy fan. And they're like, I got a great comic. And there's a whole room of people who were just like, I didn't come here to get made fun of or whatever. But I started and I'm like, oh, it was black tie and it was a little older. And I was like, oh, maybe I should. And then I had that thought in my head, no, fuck it. I'm going to do what I do. This guy specifically wanted music, but most of my songs are kind of naughty. And so I could tell after the first one that half the room was not having it. And I was like, fuck it. This is what I do. Foot to the fucking gas. Foot on the gas. Pedal to the metal. And you know what I found? And I find this at my shows too. Look, I'm silly, and my comedy, excuse me, my comedy is fun, but it leans naughty. You know what I mean? It's not dirty, but it's not clean. And there's definitely some dick jokes in there. But what I found at that private party and at my shows is I just wear people down with it. I was just like, fuck it, this is what I do. And when I walked off stage, the guy who booked me, such a good dude, he was like, hey, thanks for coming. I go, hey, yeah. And one of the guys in the audience came up and he was like, dude, sorry about this crowd. We thought you were really funny. And I said, no, no, no. Look, here's the deal. When you stand in front of people, in front of a room full of people, and most of them don't know who you are, you're not going to get everybody. You're not. Mitch Hedberg told me once, a long time ago, Mitch Hedberg, great comic. He was like, man, when I walk into a room and nobody knows who I am, I get like 15% of the crowd. Now I just got to get that 15% together. And that's what it is for me too. Not everybody's going to like what I do. Lord knows. When you stand on stage, this is such a ask any comic. When I stand on stage, the only people that I can see are the ones who aren't laughing. Look, sold out weekend this weekend in Appleton. By the way, sold out Batavia, sold out Spokane. We've had 3 sold out weekends in a row. Sold out weekend. And, my Saturday early show was a fucking banger. Banger. But there's this young girl up front. Didn't smile all the time. Not one. Not even a smirk. And I could not. That's all. When I was on stage telling jokes, that's all I could concentrate on was the one person not laughing. It's such a comic thing. Or maybe not, maybe all artists. But my view on all that has shifted. Like that party, I look at it as, I did what I do because I gained fans from that night. If I had been somebody else, those people who liked me might not have liked me. And the people who didn't like me might have liked me. And those people who didn't like me, those people who didn't really like me, but thought they liked me because I was doing something that wasn't me, could have come to my show and hated it because I would have just been me. So the great lesson was I gained half a room of fans, but real fans. So when they come to my show now, they're not going to be disappointed. They're going to be, fuck yeah, this is what we signed up for. Right. When you're pretending to be somebody else, you then have to be that person forever. Or when you start to be yourself, the people that you've surrounded yourself, or the people that follow you, or the people that work for you, or the people that work with you are gonna be like, uh, who's this person? And you're like, oh, that's it's been me all along. And they're like, well, fuck, that's not who I signed up with for to hang out with, you know? So a great lesson for me that being myself, and I'm doing this right now, this is all coming to me right now, that being myself was the best thing I could have done in front of that room that wasn't ready for it. And I gained fans, like people who were like, fuck yeah, dude, that was hilarious. Fuck those people. And the people that if I had faked it, I could have done an hour of just clean. They would have come to my show under false pretenses and left angry. Now I'm going to get those people who are going to come see me on the road who are going to tell their friends, I saw this fucking guy fight, right? You know what I mean? It was a fantastic lesson. But I tell you, man, we were 4 hours late getting in Appleton. The show started at 7. We didn't get there till 7:15. But Jacob and I split up at the airport to make things go faster. And I went to get the rental car. And I'm actually, I don't know the rules of of people recognizing you. I had one person who I know is famous who's like, oh, I don't go up to any counters. I got to give him my real email and my real phone number. And I was like, oh shit. Like rental car and a hotel and all that stuff, you know? So the woman at the rental counter, she was like, oh, hey, Josh Wolf. I go, hey, very nice to meet you. And she goes, so what's a good phone number? And I was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? So I started giving people Jacob's number. Anyways, I get the car, I pull up, I open the trunk, I wait for Jacob to come out with the bags. I feel the bags go into the trunk. And as I'm looking up, this stranger gets in the back seat. And he points at himself and he goes, Jason. And I was like, yeah, Josh, you know? And he was sitting there and he said the name of a hotel. And I go, do you think that I'm your Uber? And he was like, are you not my Uber? I said, no, dude. Jason, I am not your Uber. And he said, oh, can I still get a ride? The Ubers are taking too long. And I was like, no, and get your shit out of the trunk, dude. Like, but we had a great time, man. And we got separate hotel rooms this weekend, which was interesting. But we haven't done that. I think it was harder on me than it was on him. I was just like, what am I going to do in my room? He was like, don't come bother me. And I was like, yeah, but I'm just in here by myself. I'm telling you guys, honestly, let's be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. And then I'm going to let you know this week we're going to talk about insecurities starting tomorrow. If Jacob hadn't started coming with me, I would, or if I hadn't have retired already, I would be planning my exit. Don't get me wrong, I love stand up, but I'd be happy doing some other creative stuff too, and just doing my stand up in town here in Vegas. But as long as he's with me, man, I'm riding it till the wheels fall off. To be able to spend every weekend with one of my kids at this age is like, I don't know too many people who get to do it, you know? I honestly, every weekend, there's a moment where I feel like crying about how lucky I am. And how I wish I could spend this amount of time with my other two kids, you know? But how lucky I am to be able to do this with him. And how I wish I had been able to spend this type of extended time with my mom or my dad. You know, as you get older, you start to really realize, man, like normal people. Fuck, this dawned on me a couple weeks ago. I almost started bawling in the green room. After the age of like, maybe not 18 if you're going to college or whatever, but say definitely after the age of 21, 22, most people only see their parents if they're lucky and you live in a different state 4 times a year, right? Something like that. If you count the amount of Thanksgivings and Christmases you have left with your parents, holidays or whatever, Easter, whatever you do, Yom Kippur, I don't know what you guys are doing, Kwanzaa, you know, Arbor Day. I don't know why you go to your parents' house, but it's not that much time. It's different now because we have FaceTime and shit, but face to face. So I'm eating this up, man. And being on stage with him is like, it breathes life into me. It really does. And he was very instrumental also in me posting last week about, you know, just, I mean, not, again, not political, but making that kind of social post. He had said something to me, and it's important to me because he knows how I feel and who I am. But it's important to me that my kids are proud of me and that they can look at me and be like, yeah, this dude lived the life truly of who he is and what he believes without other, not giving a fuck if it ruffles feathers. And he had said something to me that really, really hit me personally. And so this time for together with him has really been pretty awesome and changed a lot of things for me. And so have you. So grateful for this fucking life. Holy shit, I think about it all the time. So grateful, so lucky, so happy. Really starting to concentrate on the things that I do have and not the ones that I don't. Concentrating on the friends that I do have and not the ones that I don't. Concentrating on the people in my life that reach out to me and not the ones who don't. That's it. That is what is fulfilling to me. And so, all right, I didn't even really get to the Finding Me notebook, but I'm really proud of myself. I did some writing this weekend that I love. And it was old school, in a notebook, in the green room, doing work. And the material was it's going to be great. Like, great. So, I'm in a good spot, and I want to figure out how I can help other people get in a good spot. And that's kind of what my goal is. And that's what I hope this somehow does once I figure out exactly how I want to structure everything. But I hope somehow listening to me just dump thoughts and feelings and ideas and laughs and tears or whatever, heartache on here, helps you realize that everybody's going through something, and we just got to try to find a way. There's some people that don't deserve it, but most people deserve a little kindness, a little grace. And I hope you're getting that, and I hope you're giving that. And comedianjoshwolf.com for tour dates. But I want to remind you, finding me with Josh Wolf at gmail.com. Finding me with Josh Wolf at gmail.com if you have questions, comments, if you have anything you want me to answer. Remember, I'm not a guru. I'm not a self-help guy. I'm not an expert. I just know me. That's all I know. And I'm just trying to find the best version of that. And I hope you do too. All right, everybody. I'm in Phoenix and Tempe this week, the end of the week. I think it's the 5th, 6th, 7th. I take Valentine's Day off. I'm going to visit Beth in New Orleans. She's shooting a movie. Week after that, Jacob and I are in Kansas City. And then comedianjoshwolf.com for tour dates. We just got our Europe and UK dates. Get fucked. I'm so excited. Guys, gals, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls. Thank you so much. I'm super grateful for all of you. You are enough. I am enough. And just go grab life by the fucking short and curlies, man. And hang on. All right, everybody. Love you. This is Finding Me with Josh Wolf.